to another video. It is the next day and we're still in quarantine, and I want to speak about this COVID-19 thing. Now, no, I do not have COVID, so don't even act like that's the question. It's not. It's not going to be a question on that, okay? I stay away from people, I really do. So the thing that I want to talk about is that throughout this COVID situation, there are a lot of people that do walk outside without mask on, and it's a bad thing, but at the same time, it really doesn't matter because I'm not them. But I want to say that there is someone out there who has come up with a cure for it, and I posted it on my Instagram story, and she said that she has treated patients, like 350 patients, with this cure, and neither, they were both all sick at the first, came to her, got her that cure, and then they just left. About, say, a couple days later, all of them are just like fine. They didn't die, they didn't catch a sniffle, they didn't die at all. I mean, like, they were living. So during this pandemic, it's fine if you don't wear a mask now, because I mean, I want to wait till they actually bring the help we need to Florida and to different parts of the state in order for me to say, hey, we don't even have to wear a mask. One lady did say, and this happened in DC, the conversation, she came from Nigeria, saying that she has a cure coming to DC, saying that she has a cure and the cure has helped people. There's a cure for everything, and it has fixed the situation that we're going through with the 350 people that she has treated. So don't say that she has not treated anyone. She has, and 350 people have claimed to be her witness that they are fine and they are still alive and they have not died. And through this past time, not a lot of people have been dying, and which is fine, because I don't expect anyone to die, and I also don't expect someone to look like they're stepping on death's door. But I want to explain that even though they say that we have a cure for it, which is amazing, because then we can go back to school and we can go back to our colleges and go back to work. And I understand a lot of people really absorb this time to think of things that we've never thought about. Like, why do I stay home all the time by myself? Why isn't anyone noticing me? Why isn't blah, 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 things like that. Things that we have to think about that we haven't thought about as we're busy during a regular day. Quarantine has made people think. Quarantine has made people notice that they are going through depression and they can't live with themselves. Quarantine has made people cry because of the losses of their family members, friends. Quarantine has also made people think about how much time they dedicate themselves to their phones without looking outside and seeing the world for itself. Quarantine has done a lot of things to a lot of people, and they have made a lot of people realize that they can live, and they can live to see another day. And quarantine has made other people realize that they can't live, that they just don't want to see other people, that they just don't want to see tomorrow. And that's bad. That really is, because we need you to stay alive. Every person has a meaning in this world, and their meaning is whatever they want to major in. And my meaning is to cook, and I like to give food to people. And if I don't give food to people, then some people may go hungry without me. So I like to give food to people. I also like to sell food to people. Same thing as everyone else. I mean, some people like to make clothes, okay? They made clothes for me. They made a lot of things for me. So everyone has a purpose in life, and if they haven't created clothes, if they haven't created laptops, food, electronics in general, life, we wouldn't really have to, we wouldn't be in this world right now. There would be no purpose for anyone if nobody were in this world. So, give or take, the time has really given people the time and energy to think of these things that we have not thought about in so long, or have not thought about at all, because being at home by ourselves or being at home with others constantly makes you either happy or sad at times. You can be single, alone, and still be thriving. You can be somebody with someone has kids and everything and still be thriving. But at the same time, there are some people who are alone and don't really take in the aloneness as good as other people do. And some people in relationships and has kids and stuff like that just really can't take how much the other person in the other room does to them. And it's weird, because some people have weird relationships and all that, and they just sometimes can't take it. And they do things that they will regret because they have kids or they have family that they want to see till the next day, and they never got to do that. So condolences to everyone, to the woman who found the cure for this COVID. And she is a black Nigerian queen. She has found a cure for this excellent, marvelous, most exotic pandemic we've ever been through. Even though things have been thrown in our faces, obstacles have been thrown in our faces, and situations have been thrown in our faces, based on how we live through it is the main thing. Because a lot of people can just have things thrown in their face and then they just can't take it all. Because then there was murder hornets, and then there was deadly plants, and then there was Donald Trump saying a lot of stuff that was really stupid, and then constantly making people take all these antibiotics knowing that it's not working. So this black woman has come up with a cure, and she's cured 365 people. 365 people. If I said 350, I don't know. 365 people. I know it's in 300s. She's cured that many people, and she has literally saved everyone's lives. One person in this lifetime, in the last lifetime, in any lifetime, can save millions in 2 seconds. And I understand that sometimes it's just not a good idea to experiment on people and stuff. But at the same time, she had a feeling and knew that there has to be a cure for everything. There's a cure for HIV. There's a cure for a lot of things. It's just some cures rely on your mind and your immune system. This cure involves you having to really take this pill or having to really take this shot or something like that. But she has come up with the absolute amazing cure for this COVID that will most likely be spreading around in this entire United States, everywhere. It will spread everywhere and have people saved for a very long time. And I know some people just don't really care what I'm saying, and I know some people just don't really care about how I say it or how I'm doing it. But in my life, I've known that everything that I have loved has most likely been racist. And I'm not gonna say that everything in my life is racist. I'll say that partial amounts of my life has been racist, because some people have made music out of racial slurs and then changed them around the years when they noticed that that was not the right thing. And a lot of people just don't like it. They condone this mess. But as I move on in my life, I note that our ancestors have been through a lot, and they have shown us that we can break through these chains and move on. We have the right to vote. We have the right to take action in certain things, and we have rights to use our rights. We have a right for a lot of things, but all those rights can be provoked if Donald Trump is voted as president again, and we can't allow that. And I can't allow that, because I don't even like him. I don't like seeing his orange face every time plastered on pictures, plastered on Instagram, plastered on Twitter, plastered on news channels, newspapers. Like, there's nothing in this world that doesn't tick me off but him. Everything he says is just destruction. He has worked with black people before. You've paid black people to like you. You've paid women to come to you. And the first time you've ever been noticed was when you were in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That's the first time I've ever known you existed. My bad that your existence had to be on a black-owned show. But my problem is, now every time I see his face, I think of the promises that he said he was going to do and never does them. So as we're going through this pandemic, he's making things up, changing things up, saying that he does this thing and stuff like that, saying that he hasn't done this and he hasn't done that. If we vote for him again, all he's doing is avoiding his charges of being in jail. He has millions and multiple charges. And every person that decides to want to skip over and say that he has no right to be in jail, forget you. Because basically, you're the one that probably voted for him. You're the one that voted for him. And if you were the person that voted for him, I know he's pushing you out of his life. Because there are millions and millions and millions of people who love Donald Trump. But there are also slightly more millions of people who hate him at the same time. If you're the one that really likes him, that's you. I can't change your preference at all. There are probably going to be like half amount of people that just like him put on there and say that they want him as president again for another 4 years. No. I'd rather have John Biden something, because I can't just sit here and listen to him every 5 seconds talking and saying things like he has worked for people, he has worked for black people before. He's worked with black people before. Like, it's critical, because literally when he says that he's worked with black people before, he has. In Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. But not a lot of people really like him, because when he became president, he became the big butt wipe he is now. So for the people that actually voted for him, you are butt wipes too with him, because there's no other way to explain the difference in life right now. We are going through Black Lives Matter issues. There are people still protesting, and I know it sounds like, hey, it died down. No, people are behind closed doors, off cameras, off phones, are dying. They're sick. They have almost touched death's hand, and they have almost felt what it feels like to be in heaven, and they have almost touched what it feels like to be in hell. I really don't know how to explain any further of what's going on in 2020 and how it makes me feel and how it makes others feel in just one word. All I can tell you is that just survive, because the Black Lives Matter movement has moved on and still moved on and still going. It will never stop. I don't want it to stop. I love the protests. I love hearing people say Black Lives Matter. I love seeing people raise their fists up and say Black Lives Matter. I love it because it reflects that more than one person actually cares about the situation. That we all know that our ancestors have been through a lot. That the racist issues has still not stopped, and we're ready to get it finished. We're tired of being tired. We want it over. But ever since COVID popped up, we haven't really thought about that. Besides COVID, when it never popped up, not a lot of people have been really worried about the Black Lives Matter movement. Yes, Black lives have mattered for a very long time. I would never change my history. I would never change my ancestors' history. And I would never change anyone's history. Because I know that we barely get attention and that most people have white privilege, but in general, half of us are still struggling with the fact that everyone just sees our color for our color and not our skin for how we are. They don't see our personality. They don't see our love and attention towards other kids. They don't see our love and affection towards our aunts and uncles and grandpas and great-grandfathers and stuff like that. They don't see that. Because we have had to fight for women's rights, for the freedom, for our freedom from slavery, our action towards voting, and a whole bunch of other stuff that just can't be named. There are so many people out there that has died from just being choked by a police officer, from just being shot by a police officer, from just being touched by a police officer. We don't do anything. There are some that just do something, but when they try and run away from the situation, it kind of makes it worse. And then the looting, which is still going on. It can't happen again. The looting hurts because really when you loot, it's just taking advantage of George Floyd's stuff and taking advantage of just a lot of things. When George Floyd died, his family burst out in tears, fell straight, and thought about it for a very long time. He has a daughter, and his daughter, for the first time, has to experience a Christmas without her dad, has to experience a Thanksgiving without a presence of seeing him at the table, has to think that she's really not gonna ever see him walk through that front door. And everyone's just taking the advantage of it, all of it, and then just accepts the fact that, hey, it's time to loot, let's take everything. There's millions of black-owned businesses that have rifles, guns of all types, out and ready for you to even touch the building. It's over. And I'm trying to explain this in the calmest way possible because I know that a lot of people have been going through the same thing, but even worse. But there are millions of families that have to cope with dealing that their parents or family members or anyone has died. There's there's celebrities that died of natural causes, and there's some celebrities that have died from drug overdose, weeds taking in, or just simply getting shot by one person who just didn't like them. It's been a very long time since I've seen X in my life, and I care. And I still miss the guy, and I miss Juice WRLD, and I miss Cameron. I miss a lot of people that has died. I miss John Witherspoon. Like, come on. There's a lot of people that has died, and like, we just can't find a way to just take that in and accept that, yes, people have died in this year, and people have died in last year, and years before that. But we tend to cope in a way that we like take things from other people. You have to think, if you take a kid from a mom, the mom is bound to try and find the kid. And if you take the mom from the kid is gonna grow up to be that person that they didn't want to be when their mom was here. That's like kidnapping a cat from a human that really, really loved that cat. And then that cat just disappears. And then you never see the cat unless you truly want to find it. All I can say is that there are some really serious stuff out there. Anyone could lose anyone. And the person that lost even harder changes from a nice person to a bad person, changes from a bad person to an emotional person, and breaks down in all types of tears. The lives you take are the lives you're going to see every day. That blood is on your hands every day, every second you see it. And I know this is a deep video, and I know this is like gonna be a little long, but you have to understand that these things don't come easy. COVID has really brought people to attention that we are going through a lot of stuff, that we can't cope with a lot of things easily, that lost parents or lost family members, lost a lot of people. I mean, I lost my uncle, my favorite uncle, and I cope with it differently. I do nothing because I can't take up the idea of literally seeing him gone. So everyone copes with things differently. I don't do anything to heal the pain that I've lost. If I cope with anything, it's through singing, cooking, or drawing. What sentimental thing does that mean? Everyone should know that through this COVID situation, you have thought about things that you wish you haven't thought about, or you have done things that you wish you never done, or you've said things that you wish you never said. And there's just some things where you're happy about. COVID is a good thing sometimes because you get to spend time with your family, and you get to see the family that you've already had. I mean, if you have family members inside of your house that was already living there, obviously you're bound to be spending time with them. You get to know more people better. I mean, there's always like a teen or somewhere in the house that you saw when you were like 4 years old, and now they're all grown up. Like, go talk to them. This is what COVID does. It makes you think about things, and makes you want to talk about things, and it makes you deeply process what you've seen and what you've done for the past time. So I just really wanted to tell everyone this, really just wanted to have this deep conversation, because even though there is a cure for COVID, even though there is a whole bunch of riots going on, even though there's a whole bunch of racism passing on, even though you have lost people in your past time, there's still goodness in some of this. People have found cures. There is always different ways to cope with the losses you've had. There is always family members you know you can lean on. And there's always someone you can call whenever you feel like you just can't take it. Thank you guys so much for watching my videos. I'm so happy that I have a YouTube channel for you guys. I cannot wait to post more content, more interesting content, and more non-particular things that most YouTubers wouldn't do. I'm going out of my comfort zone as I am on these videos. So, thank you so much, you guys. Love you. Bye.